Loud?
No, I just.
Okay, good. Oh, we're good. Welcome back to Drawing Blood episode 9, if you believe it or not. It's been 10 weeks. We skipped a week last week, and our apologies. Bob, to my right, and I had some business that got switched around, so we planned around it, and you know how life is, throwing you curveballs. And we've been seeing to get a lot of curveballs lately, so. But we're back, and we're gonna continue episode 9 of Drawing Blood, where we're continuing the intro storyboards that I started. Oh boy, 3 weeks ago. Let me just change it back. It's been a really long time.
It's been a real long time since we got it.
And I know that because if you could see up left where it says Macromedia Flash, so you know we're up to date. I have the date, which is February 22nd, and today is March 15th. So I've actually skipped 3 weeks on that, which that's not good.
We got half a walk cycle.
And we got half a walk cycle done, so we're doing pretty good in terms of getting this ready for the summer. So right now I'm going to save as today's date, just in case I want to ever backtrack. So let's see where we left off. I was roughing out these boards of the intro. Those of you just joining us and new to this is a video game Exit 73 Studio Games are making. Very much in the spirit of Zelda. It's called #Blood, and it follows the exploits of Becky, a vampire hunter, whose town is under siege by a vampiric virus, and she has to save the day, pretty much. So, check out all our YouTubes and all that stuff to see more game footage of the game. So I'm going to just play this. This is the first time me seeing it since the 22nd. Okay. Alright. Oh, yeah. When you're this busy, you always forget you're drawing what you're working and if it even works. Okay. Well, that's about it. Not very impressive, Chris. So let's see. Let me walk us through what's happening here. So we're gonna zoom down. Becky, our protagonist here, is looking up at the moon. Hears a noise, and then instantly we jump right into action. That's always sort of our go-to, is our action. That's sort of what puts us on the map. So this vampire jumps in, winds up, uppercuts. Okay, I see what we did there. Tackles, dispatches him. Then we go to Kristoff here. He's a brute. Then he gets attacked. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to start mapping out the next character. There will be 3 characters in the intro. Corey, who's sort of the scientist of the bunch. So what I was thinking we could do is we're going to zoom in into this pile. This is all going to be one shot. We're going to see Kristoff struggling, and then you're going to see sort of a potion or a liquid kind of pour, maybe holy water, pour on these vampires. They're going to disappear.
Should we super soaker it?
Oh, we could do it like that. I was going to do, yeah, that's a funny idea. So we're going to super soaker them. They're going to all disappear from the holy water. Then we're going to have a hero shot of Corey, and he's going to look like he saved the day, but then he's going to be surrounded by vampires, and since he's sort of the scaredy cat of the bunch, he's just going to be evasive and run away while the rest of the guys come in. Then hopefully we get to a close where we kind of meet the main villain later in the intro. So what I'm going to do is, what I did last time was sort of do these red line things. I'm going to make these beats first, so the beats I want to, and we'll worry about the camera stuff later. So I'm going to change the background color so I can kind of see what I'm doing. So what I want is sort of like this hero shot of Corey. I'm thinking like an up shot like that, so we kind of see him looking at me. So I'm going to do this super rough right now. So he's pretty proud of himself. So we're going to go up. He's got a water gun here. Super soaker. Alright. He always wears his pants high. As high as Cody wears them, and that's as high as it gets, baby. Yeah, we had a crazy few weeks. We've been getting tons of work and a lot of deadlines and all that stuff. So, this is the first time we're touching blood. We're doing it live. I was just drawing a character with glasses for another job, so I was about to do his style of glasses. Yeah, and I'm not going to do it that, so don't you worry. So he's going to be happy here.
Chihuahuas is here.
Oh!
Got,
Thanks for coming back. I know we promised every week, and I do apologize for that. And we were supposed to go to the Big Apple Thursday, and a miscue happened. I think people think our studio's closer to the city, so we got the information about 20 minutes from when we were supposed to meet them. And we're 3 hours away from the city. So we're going to do this upshot of Corey. Twist it a little bit there. Sometimes I draw it like that, and when I want an extreme kind of upshot trick you can do, and you can do this in any flash, I guess, but if you hold the control button and pinpoint it and grab it, you can kind of change the angle of it a lot. And it's not a perfect science by any metric, but you can kind of skew it enough to get a fun shot here. So we'll see him here. So we'll have these characters here. We're going to zoom in to like Kristoff looking scared, kind of. Let me do that real quick. He's going to be struggling. He'll be nervous. Make that a little smaller. So we'll zoom in, we'll see. Gonna turn on my guide so I'm sure I'm action safe. And we'll have all the vampires grabbing them, clawing at them and stuff. Make that even smaller. Put that to that. Maybe a little more. You're gonna see holy water spray on them. So from screen left or stage left.
Where's the White Claw that doesn't taste like ass?
That is at a different liquor store. Spray. They'll all evaporate, do their thing. Then we're gonna cut the cord here. No need to apologize right now. Oh, thank you. No, life gets in the way sometimes, but what we tend to do at the studio with work and jobs and how we pay the bills and stuff is we sort of say yes to every job, within reason. There's some jobs that are just so cheap that it doesn't make sense or takes too much time or just need too much manpower. So what we did was kind of double down on stuff where we probably couldn't and shouldn't have taken one or two of these ones. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, obviously. But so now we're just next week's going to be interesting too because we have a lot of things due at the same time. But like I promised you guys, I want to do this for not just for our audience, but for us too, because this is a passion project. And excuse me, our building might be on fire. Excuse me. So, this is just as much for us too. Now, I'll probably need a model of Corey. I haven't drawn that guy in a while. So he has this super soaker water gun. And we'll grab a reference for here and there. I'll actually, we do a surprising amount of tracing.
You did the Super Soaker and the cat film.
Man, we're bringing up all our hits.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so we're gonna zoom. So these, I mean, this is really rough. So they disappear. And we're gonna
You
zoom
can have,
over to them.
Water balloons too, or something.
Oh yeah, maybe you'll be holding a water balloon. That's a great idea, actually, because then
Have we ever
while
dealt
he's
with
chasing. This is how we write, by the way.
Have we ever dealt with clients who are late with payments? We're dealing with.
Oh, I haven't dealt with. I can't. That's a lie, actually. But I haven't dealt with clients who aren't late in a long time, except with the exception of one guy we just worked with. Man, I want to chase this feeling so bad. We did a animated trailer for a video game called, what was it called? Planet Miner? Idle Planet Miner, which is like a mobile phone game. We did it in 5 days. There was no notes. He loved the animatic. And I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Then we finished the animation. And he's just like, all right, send me your PayPal information. And we got paid within that 15 minutes. It was, I've never had that. And to the contrast now, we are neck deep in notes and trying to get money and all.
November. That was bugging someone from November. I feel like the
no.
one was definitely.
Yeah, we just did a job for the Miami Dolphins, and for November. Well, during football season.
Yeah,
and
they were still in playing football.
They're still playing
not
football. The player was still on the team. Now he's somewhere else, and so it can't even air. But they were, that's pretty typical actually. So, and they did eventually pay us. We just got paid 3 months after. So, as long as you can negotiate with your landlord to be 90 days late, I don't see why they can't. No, but I'm constantly bickering people for money. The money you're owed. And you do feel bad about it, but it's like, you owe us. It's like, we got it on time. We're never late. So, I think that's a freelance thing. The part I dislike the most is they need it so urgently, and then they forget about you.
Yeah.
So let's see, we can go up here. So he's going to look like a real certified BA here. And then what I'm going to have happen, so it's like, oh, who's this kid? And then cartoonishly we'll have all these vampires. Let's shrink him so we can... Then cartoonishly we'll have like these monsters zip up in the back, kind of. Oh, looking at him. How dare you. So I'll fill out the screen like that. This will be an upshot, the mood will be there, sort of thing. And again, I apologize for these roughs, because this is usually how we board personally, but I want to show you guys when it's cleaned up so you can kind of see what our clients see. And shake them down, run into, what is this?
No.
Oh, yeah, no. It's a shame. It's I'm constantly confused with the way the industry treats the animators, which is strange to say coming from an animation industry. I don't know what it is. We talk about it a lot, though. Where I don't know if it's it's not jealous. I don't know what it is. Or they, what we deal with, since we're kind of a studio, and I do lean into kind of.
Andrew's here.
Oh, Andrew's here. Andrew, long time no see. How's the programming going?
Yeah, he's probably busy at the day job.
Yeah, he's in the middle of pre-season. What was I saying about?
Oh, being a small studio.
Oh yeah, being a small
Big
studio,
barrels.
I think a lot of our clients have the expectations that that they rely on big studios, which is always like lots of notes, lots of notes, really, and
And I swear it's to keep them busy.
it is, yeah. No, it's it always feels like they have to stay busy, because around I don't know, every day we get bombarded with emails till around 7 p.m. and then everyone's radio silent. And yeah, just to keep them busy. I don't know. There's so many alternatives too. I don't know why they choose animation if they kind of have this vendetta against it. Alright, so we'll make that a lot quicker since this is we're already at 19 seconds. So we'll zoom over to him. Uh-oh. Then what I want to do is he's getting scared, and we're going to do kind of a zoom in here. Not a zoom in, he's actually going to run towards the camera, and then we'll run out to kind of a really wide shot where you see him running kind of cartoonishly away from all the vampires when he's scared, and then that's when we're going to reintroduce all the characters, and it'll be this fun kind of wide shot where you see each of their kind of personalities shine through. Corey's going to be running scared, Becky's going to be kind of stealthy, ninja-like, and Kristoff's going to be the slow brute who kind of beats him and stuff, and we'll introduce him in this kind of hopefully Thundercats-looking intro, though I don't want to. We're setting that standard pretty high. So he's going to be running, and these guys are going to be chasing him, and what I like about Blood is it gives us the opportunity when we want to be like cartoony, we can, because it's such a cartoony style, and when we want to get serious, we can. So you'll see the models change all the time, especially in these intros. So they'll be chasing them like that, and there'll be a bunch of them. So it's going to be this giant horde kind of running in, kind of like a wave almost of... So we'll have like this wave, and what I'll do with this is I'll actually animate sort of just like a wave, and then we'll fill it out later. So it'll like come in and crash and stuff. So it'll be this fun kind of, since it's all we're going to be playing a lot with just black silhouettes like we have in that, and just do a little highlights here and there. So it'll be this fun sort of kind of like they're all one entity almost. So we'll get to that somehow. And what I usually do, and this is a good cheat I always find, is we'll zoom into the face, or he'll run towards the camera, so you'll do like this really fun face. Which takes up the whole screen, which then you can switch out the background, so and then you can see sort of the movement going. We zoom back out to here. So here we'll map it out, and it's going to crescendo with sort of all three of them running up this kind of animated background, which ends up being this giant, who ends up being the villain of the game, the main kind of head honcho vampire here, and it'll kind of end with a wide shot of all three of them with that guy in the background. Do we have that poster anywhere? Can I show the poster?
Oh, yeah, the poster should be on the server somewhere.
All right, let me try to show you where it is. Promotional? You can see all the stuff here. Poster layout?
Poster layouts. Is there any
That ain't it.
Oh, you're trying to open. Well, the picture's in there. I don't know if you could probably just open in the folder system and show like a JPEG of it.
Oh, okay. So if I close Flash.
We'll just minimize that and just open the folder system.
Oh, here's all our clients.
Oh, these were just.
Those are old.
These are old. Yeah, no, I don't know where.
Oh, those are real old. Well, that one's not the worst either. Old designs, switch buttons, Instagram video.
Banner, maybe?
Banner?
Yeah, blood banner, maybe at the top.
Blood.
No.
Ah, yeah. Well, this is
Pull
close
it over,
enough.
yeah.
No, pull it over. So it'll sort of end with something to that degree. We'll probably center the big baddie in the back here. So that's what we'll do there. I'm going to close all this.
I have it. Yeah, that's kind of how I did it on the phone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have it on this phone. I could just show you his phone. So anyway, I kind of wanted this. We did this thing in Flex Caliber, which I'll show you that scene actually in Flex Caliber, so you can see what some of the stuff looks cleaned up. Flex Caliber animation. Oh boy, what part was it when he's running up the arm? Part 4?
Sure.
No, part 3. Alright, if any of you guys are under 18, just close your ears because there's some curses in this. So anyway, so this is an example of what we want the intro. You can see all these keyframes is just animation. We're doing everything traditional in this one too. So it's going to take us a while, but what is this going to be like? Yeah, this is real loud. Pull that down. Okay. Yeah, so, well, if you don't mind curses, who cares? So this is all kind of an animated thing. So you can see here, we're kind of running up the body in this one. Like, that's what I kind of want to happen with this is a good example right there. So, I mean, it's super short, but what I want the character to sort of be running up this giant vampiric entity who's like this. It's more symbolic at this point. Like the main villain's this entity that they're running up now, but like all three of them running up while he's trying to attack them, and maybe it'll crescendo with him about to bite them and them about to attack him. And then we'll cut to that kind of poster I showed you. Yeah, well, there's a lot of curses here.
There's a lot of frames.
A lot of frames. Yeah, that took a while. Flex Caliber. And if you guys are old enough or interested in crude humor, you could check out Flex Caliber on our YouTube or Newgrounds. It was something we spent a lot of time on, and we teamed up with a lot of cool dudes with it, and it was a lot of fun. And hopefully it leads us to something other than what we're working on paid work now. I'm only 6. Well, in 12 years, you'll enjoy Flex Caliber. So what's going to happen is, I don't know how old people are on Twitch or the internet. They usually stay off it. So I'm just going to leave that template here. And then what I'll usually do is map out kind of the giant first, since we're doing this giant vampire. So what I'll do is probably start with the horizon line, and we'll have all 3 characters here kind of small. We'll have Kristoff, say, Becky over here, or that. Be what's his name? God, what's the nerd's name?
Oh, Corey.
Corey. Jesus Christ.
He's Corey, one of the
Too many White Claws before I started this. Okay, so we'll get to this point. This will, and the timing's all roughed out. Jesus Christ. So I'll map it out pretty, like, I'll start with the horizon line. And then what I'll do is start just mapping out, like, where the big guy comes from. So he'll just pop out of the ground probably like this. So he's really giant, you know, and we'll... I'm glad to see you're on here, Andrew, with all the stuff. I hear from Cody that you're mighty busy, so... And I hear
Cody's busy. We have no idea.
Yeah, and Cody's been MIA too because
finally got a real job, real work to do, and he's
has work to do.
in action.
It's interesting, right? Cody, am I right? Are you even there?
It's the first time you worked in 37 years.
How old is he? So what I'll do is like, so we'll break out. We'll follow him up. Like that scene, like kind of like that scene in Fantasia, the original. And again, I'm making our standards a little too high.
No.
What's a worse cartoon?
We both work on a million times more than Dom.
God, that's so sad.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dong.
Dong must be getting like.
Does Dong watch us anymore? He just doesn't answer us because I've been.
Dom
No, he
probably
doesn't
doesn't
watch.
even know what day it is right now.
I miss Dong.
Well, we'll still promote his game.
I would love to. No, I'm telling you, anyone who sets out to do, whether it be a film or a game, it's like, I got nothing but respect for people who invest all their free time on something that they're passionate about with nothing but risk. Like, there's no risk, you know, there's no guarantee that you'll make a dime on any of this. So we'll pop up here. So
There's probably more of a guarantee that you won't.
there's a way better chance you won't. So the characters will be down here. We'll kind of turn around here.
So he's probably just getting to the office about now. That's
Yeah,
probably
no,
about right.
it's Dong's Tuesday. He's like, I'm gonna.
Remember that? Remember hearing about the time when 40 just didn't show up on a Wednesday one time?
And so
I love that guy
we were
though.
working
I
on a
really
little-
do love
We were
Chris
working on a
Forty.
little airplane, and this animator,
Chris, you can say Chris
Chris
Forty.
Forty, didn't
He's a good
show
guy.
up on a Wednesday. It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and so it was like finally it was like
Not even a
like,
Thursday
It was like
ever.
12:30, and somebody called. and was like, "Where are you?"
He's like, oh,
He's like, "I thought it was Sunday." So
Sunday?
it was real.
I love animators.
Just a bunch of alcohol.
Yeah. So what he'll do here is kind of... No, they are. I mean, you can tell because I'm drinking
White Claw.
drinking at 2:28. So we'll spin the camera around and kind of reveal. You'll see this big looming guy, and you'll see the three little characters down here. Spin. Then let's see what we can do from there. So maybe let's see, maybe he can wind up an attack here almost. Actually, let me change his pose. So we'll call that wind up his fist here. Oh man, I miss sort of that city life sometimes where it is. Then I go to the city and get drunk with my friends and like I'm never doing that again.
Please. getting to it now is that was a trip and a half.
So we'll zoom into the fist here. It's going like that. So this will be a constant state of motion, but we'll do a lot of V's ins, V's outs and stuff. I like how sort of anime handles like their camera moves. Well, they'll do something super quick, then kind of not freeze on it per se, like just do a real kind of slow ease out. So this will come down, and not to be redundant about flex, but they'll probably miss this fist, so they'll come up here. You know, and all three of them will have to jump. You know, then we're off to the races where they're kind of running up the arm, kind of like Flex again. We'll do it way more cartoony though. Well, Flex was pretty cartoony. And what I would do first, obviously, is animate like just the giant vampire first, because then we can map out the motion and stuff. So then we're gonna go this way with the camera. So we'll end up at like some, probably on his shoulder.
Joe Whimsy.
Oh, Joe Whimsy. Good to see you, and thanks for checking in on us last week. Yeah, I know. I know. You're always on top of that and stuff. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, we just had some business in the city, to the New York City, to kind of contend with. Again, we're not worried about the timing, so I'm just going to worry about the giant vampire right now. So let's see. And what's important about this kind of stuff is I'm kind of just winging it right now, but you kind of want to keep the motion always happening here. So if we're always going in one direction, you know, you want to kind of keep the pacing of that. So like they finally run up the arm and say he's on the shoulder. They're on the shoulder now. So since the characters were running that way, we'll turn the shoulder this way while he's sort of looking. So he's kind of very skeptical of them. So they're still all here. It winds up his fist again. There's a great old Mickey Mouse cartoon. They were like obsessed with giants in the 30s or 40s or whenever it came out, but there was like the Jack and the Beanstalk one, but there's one that predates that where Mickey Mouse gets in a predicament where he's like a shoe tailor or something, and he kills 8 flies in like with a fly swatter. And there's a giant, you know, he's unaware of anything that's happening outside, and there's a giant kind of looming in the background and stuff. So the townspeople are saying, "You think anyone could kill one?" And they're talking about the giant, and Mickey bursts out. He's like, "I killed 7 in one swoop." So he's kind of tasked with fighting this giant all of a sudden, kind of a mismatch thing. And there's this awesome scene where he's in the giant's shirt and in this pocket, and they're just doing this great job of like scale and stuff. Yeah, I miss those ones too. The old scrappy Mickey Mouses. I do. So, but anyway, I always think of that, and you know, a lot of people think of like Disney as not so much like this actiony kind of thing, but you know, I drew inspiration from that with Flex Excalibur and stuff, I was just like, it was this really cool scene where you're playing with the hands, and he's kind of in and out of the hands, and I mean, to do that on cell and paper, and no soundtrack right away and stuff, it just you could tell why they were just masters back then. So we're gonna follow the action here. Maybe let's see, what can we do here? So he looks that way. Maybe he'll like end up over here. So we'll want to work with the silhouette, so all three characters are here now, kind of over there. And I always start with silhouette first because that's maybe I'll lunge at him with his face or something, and so we'll cut to the kind of a close-up of the three characters here, and Kristoff in the back here. And we'll get a kind of a wide shot of his mouth here, so we kind of get a reactionary shot. So he screams at them. They all look scared because it's a pretty scary situation, especially Corey. Maybe he'll snap his mouth. So we'll zoom out again. They'll all jump up in unison. We'll kind of zoom in on them. His head's down here. So they'll jump up there. Then maybe kind of another hero shot. We'll zoom in again of all three of them kind of winding up to attack. And we'll get super cartoony here. And Corey can still be scared in the corner sort of thing. Can't believe I forgot his name.
Whatever.
Zoom in. And then, like, well, so they'll be framed like that, and then we'll do a super wide shot again of, like, you'll see sort of the whole, not the whole vampire, but, like, just the silhouette of him kind of ready to attack these three people right here. Like, bite them. So then these guys will fall slowly down while his mouth keeps getting wider and wider. And right when it's about to chomp, we'll have what will be the gameplay screen, which will be, you know, that long shot of that hero shot I showed. So let's watch this whole thing down. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I'm sorry.
Those emails just slowly you
I'll get it. Here, you want to check some of these? Just 4 emails from the ones that say our client. Every time.
Yeah, this is the same one. I got that.
Okay, what's is it?
Oh, they
Urgent?
kind of want to redo all the audio on the whole end of line. They want to cut it all up and make it closer together.
Is that the only note?
I don't know who's doing that or who's supposed to do that. So there was just a lot of made no sense. I don't. That's I
Trying
don't
very
understand.
hard here to keep my composure.
Johnny Boat.
Okay, so let me watch it. Let me put myself in a better mood. White Claw. Okay, so let's see if any of this makes sense. Alright. And the good news is I sort of like what we've been doing up to it, which a lot of times I revisit something and I'm like, yeah, this is garbage. Okay, so that part we're gonna have to figure out. So, well, that needs to definitely. We might have to speed that up to get to this. Did they say who's gonna do it?
Somebody. I don't know if somebody else was going to try to cut it up closer.
Well,
Kind of ended like that.
do you guys have clients like this? Anyone out there? Is anyone just looking for you not to get finished, or?
Everything in there finished.
Every time, every project. So what we're gonna need to do is time this out way better. Apparently that's the problem with the other thing we're having too. I guess it can be longer than 30 seconds if we're doing our own thing, right? Screw it.
You'd like how long?
I mean, if we make it 35, that's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
Well, we could speed that up a little bit. Audience, does this look like anything to anyone, or am I you just looking at a disgruntled animator anger draw until he has to work on his paid work? Yeah, I'm not sure about the ending, to be honest. So,
Let's see.
okay, we'll see. You be the acid test. Does any of this work?
I already hear the music.
So this is the part, yeah. Like that part, we could tighten up, I think. So. I don't know, like, does it make sense that he's biting? I mean, I guess biting him works, but like, is it enough? We need more, right? Can feel the anger in those guys. So get my weight calm. I'm gonna need a new one after this. I need like a punching bag here.
Good time. We're gonna be showing blood at AwesomeCon, which we just I didn't even know about.
Oh, is now a good time to? Yeah. Well, yeah. Andrew, plug that to the Awesome Com.
What was?
I have a feeling that's an ironic name, or.
I have a feeling it's not gonna be as awesome as they think it is.
No. What? Why don't you give some pedigree information on that, Andrew, so anyone who's in DC can come and visit you guys.
It's the same people that Mag Fest.
Oh, it's the same thing?
I think
Oh.
it's the same group.
Ah. Good stuff.
But how are they ending? I didn't see like what was the
Okay, so does any of this legible?
They're
So
on his shoulder.
they're on his shoulder. Okay. So he smashes in, run up on his shoulder. He kind of like screams at him, then he like bites down. They jump over him. Then we're gonna zoom into them, which we'll need to hold a little bit longer. So this will be like the last action. Then we'll zoom out to them, and right before they're about to attack him and he's about to bite, he'll like jump down, cut to black, fade into our intro.
I'm trying to think of I almost wonder if we shouldn't do that last shot. And
Like, and
two
just
of
have a
them.
different play screen kind of thing? Like,
Yeah, like the two.
or just maybe have bloods, like blood
It's
squirt
kind
on.
of KO. I'm trying to think of the KO. How does the KO end? It kind of ends with them hitting.
Like, yeah, right about to hit almost.
I think it ends
Or
with
like it
actually
ends up.
coming into, like,
Well, we
that's
just
where it goes,
do like something, you know,
yeah.
kind
Like, almost
of
keep that close up. Go a little bit wider, but since
like this
his
this
face-
wider.
Like no, go closer on that, like that, close up, and then. I mean, his head could get smaller again. Also.
Yeah, we can shrink him. And then maybe like right when they hit, then we do sort of our action debris thing, and then blood play. So we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have that cool thing, but I don't know, like the thing we're kind of.
Almost like split screen down the diagonal, where like they're both going at each other.
Oh yeah, we could do that, and like a split screen of almost that.
With him.
Oh,
Yeah.
so instead of that one, or we just split the screen. We'll zoom in, and we'll have his eyes kind of.
Yeah, like it doesn't actually have to be a split screen, but maybe it's like we zoom out a little bit from this and we
From
show
this.
his head taking up the whole bottom corner. And like right as they're about to hit him and he's about to bite them, like we cut to the
So we can have almost a different
like
angle,
a profile of his head biting, kind of taking up the whole.
like almost like that, and you could see all the
You
background
could even
here.
bring it back with his head.
It'd be cool. You could kind of see the school here or something, and we just zoom, like. We have fun background. Like that, and then we'll slowly zoom in like that. So is that something that we need to answer? The
No.
emails? No. How do you guys balance commission work with passion projects like this?
We cry. Crying.
Well, you noticed last week we didn't really get a chance to because we had so much client work. I mean, the part of the reason we have the Twitch thing, other than I like showing how we do stuff. I think it better explains stuff to our clients too. But we kind of carve out time every week. Just that forces us to work on something like this, and I'll work at night when my kids are asleep. I'll do all that kind of stuff on passion projects and stuff. So I'll try to put in like 50 or 60 hours for client work, and whatever extra time I get at night, we'll try to do the passion stuff. It's kind of a rogue, lonely-ish road and hard life, but I'm not exactly building the railroads either. I'm just sitting and drawing.
What if we ended with just her? Like, what if it just almost like how you have it, and then at the end, instead of doing that, and we jump up, and it's just her. Like KO did a good thing where it kind of was just her punching at.
Oh,
Like
just to
something
like,
that.
just see
Even if
like,
it just kind of end with
just like Becky coming towards the camera, like
kind of like that last swoop that we did in the trailer or something.
So like
smacking the
Becky's
screen.
here, these guys are here. So
And
we're
maybe
kind of
show them-
maybe we're
yeah.
the vampire now, kind of like that.
Could be lower angle.
And then she comes in sort of this way,
Yes.
and then
And you
and
just swoop the hockey stick at the screen and we cut.
yeah, like she'll be like here.
We kind of did it in the trailer, I think, too, didn't we?
So she'll
Like,
go
didn't she
up.
come when she was up in the moon and then came at the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then swoosh. then
Andrew gets work done on their commute. That's the only person that gets work done.
I can't believe he could do work on a commute. I guess the thought of drawing on a bus or a train makes things a lot harder. Was that the only note though? Did they have any background notes?
No, not anything about anything. It was just someone's upset about the dialogue.
Oh, says are they now?
Another fox is upset about the.
So that was the only. Someone's upset about dialogue, and
Like it
now.
wants to be tighter, so it feels more natural.
Yeah. No.
It could have also been recorded better, but that's neither here nor there.
Cool. All right, so let's start cleaning. So let me get myself in a better mood again. Every time.
This works.
Crazy. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, no, that looks. Yeah, that looks so great. It looks so crazy. All right, so we're gonna start cleaning some of this stuff up here, and like I said, these are just the beats. We'll time this out all pretty and stuff. So let me start with Corey. Because I like that drawing. All right, now for boards, you don't have to go too clean. But it benefits all of us if I try to go as clean as I can, just so we go.
So I can just trace.
So what I'll do is I'll zoom into a kind of a closer percent, maybe 200. I don't even know what line weight I was using before. Ooh, thick. Okay, we'll do thick then.
Is it Nick Foles thing?
I'll do brush 4 for Corey. So now I'll just kind of start cleaning this up. We'll worry about timing later. Like I said, there's a lot of timing issues we had. And I'll even, when I start animating, like really fine tune the timing. If I notice something's lagging too much, we'll tighten it up and all that stuff. So it's a really organic process we do here, because we'll just take this file. Bob will go right into backgrounds. I'll go right into animating. We'll kind of meet in the middle and try to get this done by, I think, June 7th.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, Chris. Is when we're gonna show our game for a festival we sponsor in New York City. It's called Animation Anarchy now. It was Midsummer Night Tunes, and that's what we're gonna try to shoot for. Regardless, we'll be there because we can. I think we could also just make footage of the game and make a trailer too if we're really, bogged down with all this stuff. We're making a few trailers actually for a lot of indie games right now, which is nice. A lot of people we met at MagFest. We happen to be the only kind of animators there. Everyone else is sort of gamers or game programmers and stuff. So we kind of found a little niche there, which is cool. All right. I color all the good guys in this that's not a vampire one color, and I'll color the vampires a darker color, just so we can differentiate, especially when we get to like this scene right here, when it's just going to be kind of different shades of color moving around, so I don't have to really I want to focus on the motion, not so much the in-depth design right now. Make that the moon. background here. So we'll have trees and all that stuff. So it'll be this kind of upshot here. Andrew, do you have any information on AwesomeCon that we could share? Could promote it on Twitter and all that stuff too. And we definitely got in, right? That's...
Oh no, they're going. Andrew's
Oh, okay,
gonna
cool.
go, and
Oh, nice.
I think Greg's doing most of it, and then Andrew's.
Oh, Greg's going too?
Yeah.
Huh. Good on Greg.
Check it out. Awesome. Oh boy.
April 26th to 28th.
That is, God, that's just. It's exactly how.
They got the guy from Saw? Is he going?
Who's the guy from Saw? You mean?
The guy from Princess Bride, but the actor who cuts off his arm,
Oh.
hand, or foot.
Yeah, no, I think they all go there and sign stuff to me.
Yeah, send the link. We'll
He
send
did.
it.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Andrew just did.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Andrew. Is Dong going? Does anyone know? Does Dong know?
And Dong doesn't even know. Probably doesn't even know that it's happening. God, this
Looks about the same as
It
MagFest.
looks just like MagFest. I just saw Shimmer and Shine though, so it's a all ages.
Oh, really? Shimmer and Shine. Yowza.
Oh well, whoopsie.
All right, we'll do a hand here. All right. What color did I do those guys? Just the second gray.
I'm really worried about something.
I know. It's depressing. It's this thing that they do in the industry, though, where they want it done, but then they stop you from getting it finished. I wouldn't be mad, but I'll never be able to retire. So they show up here and get scared. Andrew, is Greg going to be there the whole time?
Yeah, I think Cody said Greg's gonna be there the whole time, and
Oh,
Andrew
cool.
could make it for a little bit of it.
Sweet. That's great.
I love how he's got it all figured out. Andrew's got it all figured out.
I do. I want to model my life after Andrew. Hey, new subscriber. That hasn't happened in ages. Thanks for joining. And welcome to Drawing Blood. Let's see, so. Alright, so this guy is dejected. So when we get to animation and stuff, we'll separate this in different layers and all this stuff, and we'll organize it and make it look professional and stuff. But right now, we just need to get this moving. I'm going to show this to Matt Lee when it's finished, because he's the curator of the festival, and we can start promoting it soon. Alright. So let me kind of lay out this scene now. So what I'll start to do, first and foremost, I'm going to grab a background here. Seem to be doing a little line right now. Alright, we'll take this one, why not? We'll replace this later too. Alright, so we'll keep that here. So this will be panning the whole time while Corey's running. And I want to sort of clean this up pretty nice because this one we're going to have to really think out. Excuse me, I have tons of emails. Oh, we might have to move this to the weekend so we don't get bothered. So I'll take just the shape of this here. We could go super cartoony with the, especially the wide stuff. I always kind of notice the wider you go on the shot, the funnier, the cartoonier stuff works. So like Corey's head could be super big here and it not look strange at all. It's when you get to the close-ups, and unless it's an extreme close-up like a SpongeBob or something, then you can get really wild. But I think the wider you go, the funnier the poses you can make. I'm having like a hard times differentiating styles now because I was so used to something else right now.
So bad. Twitch affiliates here. That's all I know.
I don't know what a Twitch affiliate is. What is that? Is that like?
I don't think we do enough hours or something.
Is that something you have to be a pro Twitcher?
Hours a week.
Yeah. How many hours a week?
We're not near enough. We'd have to start doing like 2 more days a week or something almost to get it.
Lord have mercy. That's crazy. No, I don't know what. Yeah, what does that do? I need White Claw to sponsor me before Twitch. White Claw, then the world. No, we haven't had any sponsors with anything. We hardly make money. Okay, so we'll clean up these guys. So let's see here, when we get to this one. So I'll probably make this scene an actual symbol, which will be one of the first symbols I make in this, aside from the background. Because this one is just going to be a lot of mapping out. And we're going to need to really think this one through. In fact, we could probably spend a whole Twitch on just what this shot's going to be. It's almost the most complicated shot in this, which is weird because it's all sort of tiny town, small characters, but I really want to choreograph all 3 characters at this point because we just got introduced to all 3 and I want to show all 3, and I'm gonna kind of animate this wave of vampires sort of kind of bursting through it and stuff, so it's going to be a lot of debris and all that stuff. And any of you animating action out there, I always recommend a lot of debris and camera shakes and stuff, it really makes things a lot more, or a lot less complicated, and you get a lot of mileage out of it. I can show you an example of stuff we just animated. Not just animated, but last week. That trailer I did where we sort of just did a whole bunch of debris and used it to our advantage. And the reason I like going cartoony with this thing is because kind of the next scene is a more serious take on these vampires, where this big kind of lumbering giant shows up, and it's going to be a little more anatomical and stuff. So if we get, and Corey just kind of lends himself to being this cartoonish character. So let's see what is that background. I don't know if that background's going to work. Probably won't. Probably have to widen it. We'll go up here so we get a lot. I'll make the horizon line pretty high on this one actually, so we kind of showcase the action a little different. So I'll just keep that here. I'm just duplicating that. Okay, so he's going to be running here, and again, we're going to choreograph that way later. Maybe next week we can do that, because I think that'll be something that deserves more than 15 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to start mapping out this guy now. So I'll separate all this stuff. I'll show you what I do with camera shakes and all that stuff. Oh, it means people can sub to you. And what does subbing do? I don't know anything about these.
No, but I think we just can't make it because we don't have nearly enough hours.
But what is what does subbing entail?
Again, I have no idea.
That means someone, yeah, like they know when you're on and all that stuff.
They might be able to pay towards it or something too. I don't know.
Also, people pay other
You
streamers.
can use, I know you can use, if you have Amazon Prime, you get like one for a subscription or something.
Oh, you pay to subscribe.
Yeah, I think if you have a Prime account, you can use your one. You can subscribe to somebody, and they get paid.
And okay, so the subscribers pay, not Twitch.
Yeah.
It's a whole world out there. I'm not sure.
Whole waste of time out there.
And as long as they're not going to change anything and just the timing, we can. We'll be okay. But I don't know. Is that it?
By tomorrow, because we have to get that.
We'll have to get that to, yeah.
Well, they're idiots.
Well, that's an understatement.
But seriously.
I know. We didn't even want this job. That's the crazy part. We're the idiots who took it. Alright, so Dragor. So I'll make that a group for now. And what's nice about MX is you can tween groups. With, I mean, I don't recommend it, honestly, but it does happen.
Time saver.
Yes, and it's there. I guess if we ever got popular enough, I'd look into it, but I don't see that happening ever.
People watching, we're not popular enough.
We got upwards. We had double digits today. 10. No, yeah. Sure. So I'm going to kind of map out the debris a little bit here because this will be... I don't think this will be on Bob's part. I'll probably just take the colors he chooses and kind of animate the debris traditionally here. I'll show you a trick soon about what you could do with debris. That's super helpful when you like symbol it right. And if you do it with no holding lines, I mean, you could really get a lot of use out of them because you could scale them at a different rate. And what we do with debris is usually dissipate it, meaning like it'll be completely gone by the time it hits the ground, so we don't even have to worry about if it lands or any of that kind of stuff. The shadow like that. You'll see a lot of this in Flex Caliber if you choose to watch it. Again, only if you're of a certain age. It's pretty offensive. Alright, let's see how this looks. And if you guys are doing boards and if you choose to do it in Flash, I always recommend keeping it as loose and as quick as we try to do it here because it really is just for yourself almost, especially if you're making your own film. I know people who go a little overboard with the boards and do all the acting and all that stuff, and if you're sending it overseas, that's one thing, but if you're just doing it to make it look pretty, I mean, there's just bigger fish to fry, I noticed, so. Now, certain clients, you need to kind of hold their hand a little bit, so I understand doing it a lot more clean. Alright, so I'll put that over there. Mm-hmm. Wrong color. We're in a bit of a mood today. It's been a long week. Been up till 2 every morning working on stuff. It was fine when we were younger, but we both have kids that are up at 5 a.m. too. And the hour change didn't do it.
God,
Jack.
they go to bed the same time, like an hour late, and wake up at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty fascinating.
It's fascinating how their body works.
So we'll make this like a really kind of cool shot where you've seen it in a lot of animations, I'm sure, where they kind of take a painterly background and then all of a sudden when it's animated they cut to it, but if you add a camera shake, people don't see the notice, especially if you do a little rumble beforehand, which we would probably do in this. So this guy's coming out. Now everything's sort of, the background's gone at this point.
I like what you're throwing down.
You like that idea? Bob loves that idea. I have a hard time with that idea, but... So, let's see here. Well, here's sort of a... I have him on a coat here, so I'm going to keep him in the... coat for this shot. We'll play with shadows in this one a little bit too, so it's a little darker. Alright. Let's see, is this looking like anything? A little. It's looking a little like something. So this will not be on all one layer, but since he's sort of like still coming out of the ground and we're zooming out, I'm just going to kind of fake the debris here. And if you do like that thing like I mentioned where you zoom into the face first and then you can kind of do a match cut with the background, so it doesn't have to be you know, as accurate as you might think. Especially you add camera shake to anything, you really get away with a lot, and it's super effective. And I think everyone uses it. I mean, I know live action people use it too. I was watching kind of not a special, but just something on Facebook, I guess. How they made Birdman, that Michael Keaton kind of newish film, look like it was one shot and what they were doing, and they would always use kind of the same thing we're doing here, where they would cut right in the middle when the character was like blocking the whole background. So they would, you know, they had kind of creative cuts there that made it work. And I treat animation thusly too, because you know, especially background stuff, it's not as unless you're a background artist, you probably notice a lot more of that kind of inconsistencies. But your eye, as an audience member, sort of follows the action. And I say it a lot, but action's sort of a character, too, like in your film. Like, you know, it doesn't have feelings or any of that kind of stuff, but it is part of what you're making the film to be the film to look like. So that guy will burst out. Let's see here. Okay.
I think Joe Whimsy's posting. She's got a GoFundMe page.
Oh, is this for you? What is this, Joe Whimsy? You want to explain what this is a little bit? It's possible. Really many viewers as you guys.
If you get half as many viewers, that's a good thing.
No, that's good. Yeah, do you want? I don't know. I'm not sure what this is, Joe Whimsy. If you want to type out what you're showing here, but we're happy to promote it. So I'm gonna make more debris up here. He's kind of bursting out. And debris, I just sort of fill out the negative space. Hey, GoFundMe campaign for acceptance to. Oh, Joe Whimsy, are you trying to get into? Is this a post-college graduate kind of thing? Or have you been to college to study animation yet, or is this kind of a pre-grad or post-grad? Oh, really?
Where I get, well, yeah, right, this is my first time going into
That's impressive. Your stuff. I would assume you have graduated art school already. I see your stuff on Instagram all the time. If you guys should follow her. Anyone who's here, if you want to show your Instagram handles too, feel free to show it up. Anyone who's interested in do that, please use this to share with each other. Oh, I would have swore she was already graduated. Great. I have a thesis student that she was an old intern here, and I'm just blown away with the new class, how talented everyone. I just feel like I didn't really get used to animation until I was
working
mid-30s, you know. I got another email. Excuse me. Hey, please. Oh, will do. We'll put. What is this? Sound. Older. So this is just sound stuff. We don't need to
I don't know
know.
why we're on. Again, well, let's see here. I'll just follow this one.
What's this? Yeah, follow. This guy bursts out. Roar. Again, we'll fix the timing later. So these characters here. So we'll animate all this first, like all this stuff, because probably if this is Christoph right here, this is Becky, and this is Corey, we'll have them react to the thing. So Christoph will be like hanging on here, say, like once the thing. Becky will jump up here, maybe, kind of like that, and Corey will cower down here. And by the time it hits that, you know, they're down here anyway, all hanging on. I love playing with scale, like stuff like that, you know. It's what I love about animation is like whatever is in your brain. And I always have bigger aspirations than I could draw probably, but there is something nice about like I thought of something, now I can get it down, and you know, the idea is sort of legible all of a sudden. Now if you're like a master like Richard Williams or something like that, you could just do whatever's in your brain and get it done, and I hope to be that level one day. And it's the funny things, like we have a scene we're animating for a client where it's just a character is panning into a store, and he has to grab something from another character who's not panning, you know, he's sort of outside the door. And it sounds simple enough. Like if that was a live action thing, that sounds super simple. But like the practicality of getting it done in Flash or traditionally animated or however you do it is super complex, which is just like, what's so complex? You're just handing off this piece of paper, and then he walks into the store. Simple enough. But it's just like balancing symbols and layers and timing everything out right and all that stuff. All of a sudden it becomes this thing where it's just like an easier scene would be like, imagine there was a jellyfish floating through space. I'd be like, I could do that a lot quicker than something as simple as just handing a piece of paper off to someone. So it is weird, and that's probably the hardest part for us to explain to clients. Like, when they say stuff like, could you change an outfit or something, it just sounds like, what's the big deal, sort of. But I mean, I'm sure all of you in animation has run into something like that, knowing it's a giant deal.
How hard is it to turn this into a girl?
Yeah, we had, I won't mention the client, but it rhymes with Stickalodian. And we had a project where we had to change the gender of a character after we animated the whole thing. But the good news is they didn't show either of them. They never posted either, so that's... So let's see here. So we're going to flip around here. Again, I'll probably just do white. Oh, no, what'd be cool is if we'd show a shadow here, like over the characters. So we'll have, again, I'm just going to use white dots here for the characters so we know kind of where they are in the scale and all that stuff. So what I'll do right now is just sort of an in-between to get to this so we kind of get the camera direction, and we'll time it out later. So, we know that, you guys can't see my mouse, but we know that this hand, choose red, is the one that winds up here. So what we're going to want to do is essentially flip the camera that way. So I'll kind of rough out that kind of camera direction right here. Keep that on there so I know. Time it like that. So we're flipping it around here, which means this guy's turning that way. So the head will be right here. This arm's coming back here, so he's winding up. We'll do a big arc. This shoulder's coming in. And I'll storyboard some of the debris and stuff, but obviously we'll separate that when we get to animation, which, you know, that's something. You think you're done with the scene when you're done with the character and some of these things, and then you're like, oh man, I have layers and layers to account for still. So we'll get rid of that. And remember, the ground is we're facing the ground here. So the ground is essentially there, and then we're flipping it so that we don't even see the horizon anymore. So the ground is sort of kind of come up like sort of a rounded thing here. So the characters are going to be like that, and then we're going to turn around. And if you do it quick enough and Bob does enough effects, we'll be just fine.
Figure it out.
So let me clean that up real quick. Funny how it's mundane and subtle actions in most of it. It is. Well, the subtle, especially subtle stuff, and and old Disney or even traditional Disney, Pixar, anything 3D now actually has beautiful subtle stuff. That's gorgeous. What they're managed to accomplish. Granted, it's probably a little easier once you have the model rigged and stuff, but that's no small feat either, because you really are an actor with animation. But when it's something's hand drawn and subtle, and I was watching Robin Hood, the Disney Robin Hood with my son. He's obsessed with it now. I've watched it 400,000 times with him. But there's this scene where the Sheriff of Nottingham interrupts Friar Tuck in a church. And it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite scenes because this says a lot about me. But it's when Friar Tuck loses his cool when finally, starts standing up to the Sheriff of Nottingham. But there's a part right he just screams, "Get out of my church!" and he goes berserk. But there's a scene right before it where he's just so shocked that this guy has the nerve to take from the poor box, and he kind of folds his chin in and he backs it. It's just this beautiful. It's one of the more beautiful facial expressions I've ever seen in any animation. And I don't know what they were really doing with Disney, where they were keeping it very rough. Like, the cleanups were very rough. I'm not probably going to butcher this.
It had to do with Xeroxing.
Yeah, they were Xeroxing their pretty much second round of cleanup of animation, so sometimes you'll see the line of action in it. I know there's one case where you actually see the chart in one of the cleanups, I think in Jungle Book. But, so it was this super rough thing, but he folds his chin in because he's a heavyset guy, and it was gorgeous. And it's just because the line is so funny that I probably pay attention to it more. But it was just ooh, I made this guy barrel chested. Just one of the best pieces of animation, and I want to say. Oh gosh, it was either Frank or Ali who was kind of probably doing that.
Chihuahua said mid-call to her.
Miltcon, okay, Miltcon, yeah.
Or he said maybe, right? I don't know. We have no fact checkers here.
I have no fact checkers here. It was one of the 9 old men, I'm pretty sure. And it was just gorgeous. You just, and I don't, with Flash and stuff, I know a lot of people get into puppeting and a lot of, it's not cheats because it still takes a lot of time. People call them Flash cheats, but there's something you kind of miss when you polish everything that much. I do miss those old Disney ones that were animated traditionally, though. And the thing is, when you spend 6 years on a Pixar film, it's like you can spend 4 years on a traditional film. What's the difference? You're telling a story. Kind of gave him a wonky body here for sure, but. So what I'll do for this is keep the debris, like the debris moving with him a little bit. And you can see I don't even really like in between the debris. And I'll show you something we worked on, which has already aired, so I don't see a problem with it. But I'll show you the Flash file. Is everything right? Everything all good? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And then I'll have debris sort of falling in this shot too. Like, so we'll have stuff falling over there, but especially where the line of action, I want to keep it with the arm, so I'll have debris and all that goodness over here too. Alright, so I'll show you some debris. So here, I'm going to open up a trailer we did. That's already aired, so I don't think it's a problem. Plus, he's a good guy. We did this in 5 days too, which is just there's no holding lines and stuff. I'm just gonna play it through and then I'll show you the debris. No sound in this or anything. Okay. So that's 15 seconds. Now, this is the kind of the main debris thing here. So what we'll do for something like that is, you see, it's all about the ease in, ease out, really. So we got this slow kind of moving in with this character. He zooms in, so we zoom into the face. And like I said, when I said the thing before where we change the background, so we cover the whole background. We zoom out. Now we're in a different background. Feels like the same cut. You'll see the smoke kind of dissipate, and you can see like where I used to struggle as an animator when I was younger. I would be so focused on design and the characters and stuff. I was never really focusing on the motion. I was so concerned. I was like, well, if his nose has 2 nostrils here, why doesn't it have that? Blah, 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 blah. What you want to do is sort of rough out the motion, which everyone tells you anyway, but I don't know why I was so obsessed with kind of that stuff. And you can see in a very few amount of frames where in this guy's face, in 12 frames later, you don't see the character at all. And that's half a second. So what I did here is we do a flash. Opposite colors for the flash, so it really feels impactful. Then we got everything's on the same chart. You'll see all these rocks down here start moving. That's just a puppeting thing, where you see the rocks just getting a little bigger, and then just kind of mayhem. But when you play it all at once, it feels like, you know, and that's what I'm talking about with the vampires. I'm not going to be focusing on their outfits at all. I'm going to draw a wave of vampires, then fill it out, right? And that's all I'm going to have to worry about. And when I open this up, now there's going to be a lot of layers, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so yeah, there are a lot of layers, but you can see I did the camera move. That's all puppeting. Then, you know, that's just one character, all puppeting. Then smoke, which is just one layer.
Guys, I love your stuff. Keep it doing.
Oh, we're gonna try to keep, as long as people keep paying us. I'm gonna keep working. And then we did the smoke on one thing. See, then there's this layer here. Again, sort of puppeting. And as long as you kind of it's weird to say micromanage your stuff, but if you do stuff like this, if you just worry about the line of action, fill it in with debris, add a camera shake. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll get away with...
So many layers.
There are a lot of layers in that one. And you see, I keep everything on the same chart. There's never a part, even the background pan, there's never a part where everything's not on the same exact chart. And then you see, like, then it's a cut. Because we're, you know, the smoke's billowing up and stuff. And then cut, it's a new background. But you add a layer of debris right here. Let me change the background color so you guys can see. And if you guys really examine the work, it's not very, it's kind of shoddy almost. Like that. Look at this, like jagged edges, just kind of winging it here. Like that just shows up out of nowhere. But, you know, your eyes focused on this guy, then you're following the yellow, then you're just, then the title's there, you're not even noticing it. So it's like, don't cheat yourself by worrying about all the minutia. You know, what we do is I always say we're reductionist, where we're just trying to tell the story in a kind of interesting way. And if you treat everything with a limited budget and that in mind, you're going to get a lot more stuff done, for one. And secondly, you're going to notice you're wasting a lot of time worrying about the small stuff. So, let's see, is there anything else? Like, that's all puppeting stuff. So, we do use flash sheets and stuff. And what we won't do, though, you'll notice I'll shoot stuff on 2s and 3s. Keep everything on the same chart. All those are just symbols that I'm just moving up and down. This is just a big camera move that, you know, that's all traditionally done. And then the most time I spent was actually in betweening this guy's face because I wanted to make it feel really inky. So that took a lot of time. But again, 5 days. 5 days we had this finished. And, you know, moving on. What's great about the client, I mentioned him earlier, how great he was. You know, he's a game publisher. I'm an animator. He let me animate him. I let him publish, and it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Now with our other clients, they think they're animators all of a sudden, or directors, or I don't know what do you think they are? I call them nuisances.
Just 9 to 5ers.
And you know, that's what's the beautiful part about this stuff is all of a sudden you'll find a client and it's a weird slated to do 2 more things like that, and you know, 10 days later he'll have 2 more things, we'll have 2 more things to show, and moving on. Now other clients feel the need to drag things on. So that was a little lesson in debris that kind of devolved into me screaming about the industry, but
Anything else?
any other questions about how I can scream about the industry? I have a lot of that pent up inside me. Now, I've been doing this for 20 years, though. Things get frustrating at that point. Any other veterans here of animation, 10 years plus? Something I definitely need to work on. Are you talking about the layers or just getting?
Or just not caring about the industry?
It's in-betweens mean very little. What I would, if I would say focus on anything, it's the keys, which, you know, obviously you need some sort of consistency, but when it's an action thing, what's nice about YouTube is you could look up anything and then you can single frame it, sort of thing. So you can see, like, you know, you could watch something like Akira, say, and watch how he they did that infamous bike scene, you know, when he zooms in from the camera, and you'll see stuff that you'll be shocked how sort of you'll be shocked how little amount of frames they used, because it seems like such a gorgeous thing, but you'll see, like, you'll see his eyes, Tetsuo's eyes, or whoever the guy is. Then all of a sudden you'll see his bike, and then all of a sudden he's in sort of the giant ease out at the end, and then it's all smoke and kind of spark effects, which is, it's interesting because, again, when I was younger, I was so focused on just in-betweening right, or doing like making sure everything was super on model and all that stuff, and I thought that was the mark of a good animator, because it's like your attention to detail, but it's your attention to the line of action. I find that really separates people, and it just sort of came with experience with me, where it was, I don't know if it was just letting go of the idea that it doesn't matter, or gonna do a kind of a quick camera shake here, so it looks a little more powerful. So, all right. So again, we'll let the camera move that one. So I'll do something quick here. And this will just be the foundation of how I start cleaning up too. I'll see what I'm kind of interested in that day. And kind of just tackle it. What I make sure I do though is always make sure you finish what you set out to start, because some people have a tendency to, let's see, it goes that way, to start something and then I'll pick it up later. But it's what separates the professionals is the seeing it through. You know, we're in the real nitty gritty of the game now, where we're at a kind of an inflection point where we're probably going to start a new level. And the last thing I want us five to do is take our foot off the gas. And you know, I don't want just a one level game. We want a full game here. So we have to really focus on getting everything finished now and starting to map out the world map, thinking about the story and stuff, because it's easy to, well, let's polish up the last level, let's do that. We have a big story we're telling, and if we just focus on one chapter and finish the chapter and think we're done, that's sort of the death note. So I'll probably ease out a lot there. So that's kind of a dramatic shot, so we'll keep that there. Been waiting a long time. I started doing it in 2013. So you're 6 years deep. That's pretty much that's a veteran where I come from. Anyone who can stick with animation that long and find gainful employment, that's no small feat. It gets easier as you get older too, finding more reliable clients.
Then you hit an age and it's not easy anymore.
Yeah, no, then you hit an age where you're too tired to do it. But yeah, I really want, I like these deadlines. I like these Twitch things that force us to put down our Wacom pen and work on something that we care about a little more and stuff. And if there's anytime you have free time to do something and you're just sitting around, I would just hop on your computer or hop on your drawing table and start working on your film, because the industry doesn't care is the problem. You know, so you have to do all the caring. And it's labor intensive enough, so if you don't care about it, then, you know, there's other jobs, way better paying jobs. But what keeps me going is knowing that we always have a passion project on stock here. And what's nice about this is there's 5 of us now that are working on this. And, you know, it's a checks and balances thing where if someone's slacking or not doing it, there's other ones to pick up the motivation and stuff. And we're, like Andrew mentioning, AwesomeCon is just like, oh, we need to get stuff ready for that now. We need to get this in a good position. Like next year at MagFest, if we're lucky enough to attend, you know, I want 3 levels done for this, or 2 levels, or not what we showed last year. It's that kind of stuff that keeps me motivated. And it's why we sponsor a film festival too. It forces us to have content to show. Because if we just focused on freelance, we probably could get more of it, but then we wouldn't have anything new to show of our own. Okay. Bob's working on one of our jobs now. It's due Tuesday. We have right now. How many jobs do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 jobs right now. 2 of them are done next week. I can't wait till the end of next week. By then, next Friday, we should if we have everything finished, Bob. Let's really celebrate on Twitch. I don't even know if we'll draw. We might just play. We might do it. We might just play video games and drink. The real spirit of Twitch.
The real Twitch.
Yeah. No, I doubt we'll be finished. Oh yeah, you have a wedding anyway. Is that what Twitch is? Twitch is mostly video games, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I thank all you guys for, joining us and stuff. I know to most this isn't very exciting, but it does mean a lot to us that people are invested in something they didn't get to even play yet. But the people that have played it, I'm really pleased with the response so far. So I do think we're sort of sitting on something here that, once it's finished, we could really sit back and be proud of something here, and that's why I want to keep it up. Let's see here. You almost finished with that, it looks like. Did you do the other background part?
What's
Like the hoop?
Oh, make the background?
Yeah, like
no,
did he make
I
it?
just made it.
Okay.
Still for now. I'll just turn it into.
Okay. You made it a symbol and
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. This has been a jumbled Twitch. We're getting back into it. It's been 2 weeks. Let's see here. What I like about these sort of action things is we can really make it kind of look like a comic book almost at this point. Or like we're really framing it out in a different way. We can add a billowing smoke layer and stuff. It's going to be a debris
Brizio.
for Brizio. Then we'll just do a camera shake here. And what I do is, depending on the direction of a camera shake, I'll just alternate opposites here. So he's punching down. So we'll start down, and I'll just count, I'll do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2 up. 1 down. 1 up. So it'll kind of alternate like that, and then you can time it out different. How you feel, and you can extend that as long as you want. Alright, so they'll jump up there. I'm gonna cut this one because we'll worry about that hand last. Is there another disparaging email?
No.
No? A good one?
Go follow her on
Hey!
Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter and Instagram. Alright. Slowly but surely.
I don't know what it all means, but
I don't know what Instagram does. Twitter seems to be a little more I'm definitely like I'm in the minority though because I don't know what any of it. Like I don't know what any of it is supposed to be. I know it's supposed to be good for business.
I think that people just tell you that, so yeah, feel
Yeah.
better. It's bullshit. I think you just do good and do good at what
I
you
just
do.
find if you get your work done on time and try to be somewhat agreeable to the clients, you'll be just fine. There are exceptions. And I think we might find the exception pretty soon when I get off this Twitch to talk to these other clients. Yeah, that's fine. So don't worry about that. So we did this thing with the main character here. I don't know if we like it. I'll have to talk to the guys about it. But you know how I kind of like the top of his head is sort of masked, like we did in the other designs when we were pitching this. You know, we kind of have blood around his eyes, or what? I don't know what we did. We did something where it was on. We posted it on Facebook not too long ago. Remember what I'm talking about?
No.
Like his whole face. It was sort of like
The main bag.
yeah, the main bad guy had like red eyes or something. I forget how I did it.
I didn't even.
It was just to
the one-
distinguish
yeah,
him from
one-
being the
one
villain,
picture
kind of.
You made the pitch vibe when you're talking
A while ago, yes.
Yeah.
It's just something I distinguished a while ago, you know, to make him look sort of like the kind of a mark that makes him look like the boss. Let's see here. That's something we'll decide when we how much time I have. Alright, let's see here. We're going to go a little over 2 hours this week because I missed last week, so a little extended version here. Plus I'm having a way better time doing this than the alternative, than whatever Bob's doing. Whoops. So we'll make sure the moon is to the right if we see the background here, just as it's casting the light here, and I think that'll be fun for shadows and stuff. Not fun to animate, but fun to look at. Alright, so that will just be sort of a traditional in between that we'll worry about there. So now he's going to lift up the arm, sort of like the team's going to be running up the arm, so we'll kind of show some debris in that regard. Alright, so the shadows, right, the shadow stayed on that side. Wrong color? Wrong color again. So the debris is going to start coming up with him because he's kind of unearthing everything. Background's going to be panning down. Going to rough out some debris here. So he's pushing it this way, so the ground will be moving with him. And it'll be fun to do this because like some of the characters can be on the debris. Like it's always fun to sort of animate straight ahead. You don't really get a lot of chances to with character animation, and that's what, like I'll key out the big bad guy here first, make sure his movement's right, and then kind of go straight ahead for the characters since they're gonna have to be dodging stuff and dodging debris. So it'll be a little interesting where you do the character animation, then the background animation, which is usually opposite. You do the backgrounds first, then the debris animation, then the secondary characters. So it's a little out of order in terms of traditional animation, but it should be fun to do. And most of our effects we do straight ahead, like smoke and all that stuff. It's just easier to plot out that way. Especially if you do the dissipate method where you dissipate, like it's gonna eventually disappear anyway, so you just sort of get rid of it as quick as you can, or as timely as you can. I guess sometimes you want it longer. So they'll be running up here. Alright, it's a fun frame. This will be another example of where we're going to ease out a lot so we can like see the kind of the scale difference. We could get a lot of fun detail in the mouth. Whoops. The highlights here. Keep picking the wrong color. What's going on here? I might have to recalibrate my pen after all this. Make a little shelf for the guys to be on. A little chomp here. With these vampires and stuff, their ears are sort of like their hair in a way, so I'll use a lot of directional force for that. So the ears sort of bend at their will, especially when it's a line of action and stuff. And their jaws are so flexible, so we can really go wide when we need to, and they can get really short. This bit here, since he's kind of grabbing at him. Let's get some action in there, or some lights. Alright, then the rest of these characters here, which we'll worry about later, because I don't get timing this out right. Alright, so let's just time this out right, which is just moving some frames around now and see what's working, what's not. Watch it down, and then I think we'll call it a twitch. Alright, let's start from the top. Alright, that's good. Right now I'm just looking to see if anything stands out as too laggy. If anything's legible. Like that's probably something we could speed up, I'm thinking. Like I think we could cut a few frames here. Hold on Christoph there. Is alright, I kind of like this timing right now. I mean, we'll eventually have to tighten it up, I think, a little bit, and I'll probably try to get it down to 30 seconds. It's just sort of an even thing. Maybe I got OCD, I don't know, but I like things even. Yeah. Okay, I can sign off on this until we get to the... Now, something next week I'm gonna want to do is, I think we're gonna spend a lot of time on this particular scene here, where we're gonna kind of constitute all three characters and get the wave of vampires and stuff. And I would like to really focus a couple hours on that, just to really get it down right. Maybe at night and stuff, I'll clean up all this stuff so we get all to the black line here and get everything finished, and then we'll just focus on this, and then I think we can finish this next week in terms of boards, and we'll start cleaning it up for the weeks ahead. I'll show you some of our secrets here. Alright, well, we went 10 minutes extra. Oh, so we'll catch up. We're gonna make up for lost time as promised, and we're gonna get back to this. And thanks for joining us again every week. It's a big deal for us that people are interested in this little passion project we got here. So until then, I hope you guys have a good next week and all that stuff. We'll be busy doing our work, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us, guys. Take care.